if everybody's ready, Coach will open us up with an opening statement.
First thing I want to say is what an unbelievable win it was for Coach Brom and the football team the other night at Clemson. I mean, that was, how hard it is to win at Clemson. I mean, I think they've lost 3 games there since like 2014 at night, whatever. And to go in there with their backs against the wall and to get a win like that is unbelievable. And that's a testament to who Coach Brom is, the type of coach he is. You look at his track record, his background, beating ranked teams. I mean, he is a stud. And just really, really proud of him and his guys. So that was unbelievable. Thought the crowd was phenomenal tonight. Goosebumps moment for me on those times where our teams made a run and they called a timeout and the place went nuts. Man, like, I've coached for a long time in home games, and I've never had a home game like that. And it was something that I'll remember, for the rest of my life. I get to make these statements at the beginning before you guys ask any questions, so I can kind of say what I want to say. We say never delay gratitude. I'm just so blessed to be the head coach at Louisville. I believe that, God has a plan, and I believe I'm sitting in this chair and the head coach at Louisville, for a lot of reasons and a lot of hard work by our staff and things like that. But I also think that I have this platform now at a really high level with a lot of cameras and a lot of people looking at me and a lot of people listening to me. So I do think it's important that I acknowledge, where I'm centered in my devotion to my faith and to Christ. And, with all the craziness that's going on in the world today, and as crazy as the world is, from the bottom of my heart, I believe with everything I got that Jesus is the answer, because he is love. And I just want to make sure that when I have the opportunity like this to be at this level and to coach at a place like Louisville, that I make sure that I glorify him first and foremost. Proud of our players. I thought they played really hard. Their attention to detail on scouting report was meticulous over the last several days. We have an old, mature team that, they amaze me by just their attention to detail and their focus in scouting reports. And they did that for Young Harris. They did that for Spalding. And they did that tonight for Morehead. And I'm 100% sure that they're going to do the same thing for a huge, huge game here at the Yum, that the nation will kind of be looking at as we get ready for a very, very good and obviously a well-coached team by a Hall of Famer here on Saturday. And we're looking forward to it. We're fortunate to have that opportunity, and we're excited.
Questions? Sandra.
You obviously had big wins before at home. What could you elaborate on what you meant by never had a home game like this before?
Yeah, I don't want to say that in any way that say that I'm saying anything disparaging about the home games I've coached at before, because every one of them was special to me. But man, the exhibitions were cool, but it's different. It was different tonight, and they have this magic lighting where it kind of like blacks out a little bit the upper deck, so like you couldn't really tell that there wasn't a ton of people up there, but that lower bowl was packed. And I'm pretty darn sure, I know our fan base, and obviously they know the caliber of the game that we play on Saturday, that I bet if I squint up there in those like blacked out areas with those special lights that they have, there's going to be some people up there too. So we're going to need every one of them. And, this place, this arena, when it's buzzing like it was tonight, is a difference maker. It's a factor. Our crowd was a factor tonight. When we got those ovations and the place got really loud, I mean, it just absolutely changes things. So, I know our fans were phenomenal tonight. I know they'll accept the challenge to make it one of the most hostile environments in college basketball on Saturday.
Coach, if you could just talk about the defensive effort in the first half to only allow 3 makes, only 14 points allowed in that first half. You play a high possession game, so to hold a team to 14 points is almost impossible. Just kind of talk about the defensive effort.
Yeah, we said it was really important to try to get the game on our terms because we play a very fast pace and they're more of a slow paced team. There's a million ways to skin a cat. There's a lot of different ways to win, whether you're fast paced, slow pace, you play inside, you play outside, you play 5 out, whatever it is. There's a lot of different ways to do it. But we knew if we couldn't get stops and they were getting to the free throw line, right, then the tempo of the game would get taken out. We just talked about, getting stops, which is making a miss, no offensive rebounds, and defending without fouling, which kind of would ignite our fast break and let us get out and do what we do best, and that's play out in the open court. And our guys really did that. And a lot of it was that attention to detail. They're a team that runs a lot of set plays, complicated set plays, things that you really have to be on. We talked about trying to disrupt their rhythm because they wanted to play in rhythm with their set plays. And then they have a bunch of wrinkles because with their set plays, they have the set, and they have a counter to the set, and they have a counter to the counter, and they have a counter to the counter to the counter. And our guys were on all those and just did a good job of making them labor to score, limiting them to one shots. I thought at halftime they had a few too many offensive rebounds. A big kid 23s, a load in there. But that's something that we can clean up a little bit going into the next game.
Coach, everyone talks about the shooting ability of your team. Only knocked down 11 threes and shot 30%, still able to get a big win. What does that say about your team still being able to score, in the 90s, even though you were, hitting as many threes as you typically want to hit?
Man, I just thought, when we're hunting great shots, right? I don't. And great ones are, shots at the rim, get to the free throw line, rhythm threes are things that we really, really value. Like, I don't get caught up in the makes and misses. Like, we're generating great ones by sharing the ball. I mean, we had 21 assists and 5 turnovers. And guys were giving up good for great. They were touching the paint. They're a help-heavy team. We were spraying it, getting open shots. I mean, if we're generating great ones, it's going to hit. I mean, if they missed 4, 5, 6 in a row, keep hunting great. And at the end of the day, the consistency of playing that way is gonna end up being a very, very efficient offense. So I didn't even know we only shot 30%. We made 11 threes. I just know one thing: like, we were generating really, really good shots because we were playing selflessly.
Just curious on how you go about scouting a team like that. A first-year head coach, they have a good bit of turnover. From the team last season. So what was that process like for you?
Yeah, I mean, you really got to dive into tendencies of personnel, right? I mean, they most of their players come from other places and things like that. You really study the places that the head coach had been, and we had all summer to do it, right? So our staff, and I want to make sure I mention our staff, because all those details on personnel and on preparation and on scouts, it's the job our staff does. I mean, those guys are relentless in their attention to detail and preparing our guys. Like, I'm just the type where I don't prepare for the next game till this one's over. Like, I didn't start talking about Morehead, honestly, until Spalding was over. I didn't. And, assistant coach that had that scout, they do all the work, and then when I walk out of here, they'll give me the folder with all the information on it. They'll give me my computer. It'll have all the breakdowns. It'll have all the da-da-da-da-da-da, and then my sole focus is on Tennessee. I just operate better like that. Like, if I try to spin too many plates and I lose focus on what's right in front of me, I'm less effective. My adult ADD kicks in. I think I got it.
Pat, how important was it for you in terms of, maybe style points isn't the right way to say it, but to make a statement, to have this kind of performance in your first game, kind of given what has happened in the past couple of seasons?
Yeah, I mean, we don't, nobody in our organization focuses on anything but right now and what we're doing moving forward, and I know there's been a lot said about how it was and how that's over. That's in the past. It's about the next thing. It's about Louisville basketball moving forward. And I mean, you come out of a game like that, and crowd was great. Our players fed off the crowd. We played well, shared the ball. I mean, there was a lot of good things. There was a ton of momentum today. So you always like, to come out of games feeling good about all those things. But, we go back to work tomorrow in preparation. We always say never accept in victory what you wouldn't accept in defeat. There's a lot of things that we can clean up. Can't give you all of them right now, but once we watch tape and pour over that, we'll put this game to bed. The first day when we come back, so our guys will be off tomorrow, academics and recovery, and then we'll have 3 days to get ready for Tennessee. The first thing we'll do is focus on this game, clean up all the stuff, and then we'll turn our attention to Tennessee.
There aren't many games that we've had here recently that were 50-point leads late. The fans, many of them were still standing at that point. Do you think that's just kind of a pent-up, frustration with the way things have been and a need to let it out?
Yeah, again, our sole focus is now. Like, I know the stuff that will be written about how it was and how it is now. I mean, it's the new era of Louisville basketball, and that's all we're focusing on. And I just know the crowd was elite tonight. The energy was elite tonight. The standing ovation with up 40-something at the end of the game was awesome. And it's because we have the best fan base in the country. You can't convince me otherwise. And I think as they watch our team, I think it's a team that is endearing to the minds and hearts of the people of Louisville. I mean, this is a town that values toughness, that values family, togetherness, community. We think we play a brand of basketball that this city is going to become very, very proud of. It's not going to be perfect all the time. The season's a lifetime. There's going to be the ups, there's going to be downs. But we're excited to be on this journey. We're excited to have our fan base in the city of Louisville on this journey with us. It's going to be fun.
Coach, if you could just, your team is very aggressive defensively, digging for steals, slapping down on the big guys when they have the ball in the post. But even when those guys gamble for steals, you don't tend to give up a lot of easy looks if they don't get the steal. What is the game plan with that? Is that more the players just making a decision on their own? Is that something that you see schematically, defensively when you look at them? Like, what's the process there?
Well, we value very much, obviously playing hard. When you're playing active defensively, everybody is playing active defensively. It's almost like there's an extra defender out there. So we talk about stance, length, activity, talk at all times. And, I thought we did that today. We have a lot of guys with great defensive instincts as well. Just a couple of them to name. Chucky Hepburn is elite in his defensive instincts. Kaysen Pryor's another one. He's got elite defensive instincts, and sometimes those guys kind of go out of the system a little bit, but you got to let them be who they are, right? You don't want to put those guys in a box and take away some of their true gifts. So, sometimes they'll get a little crazy and gamble a little bit, and it costs us on the backside. But again, I'd rather try to reel them back in a little bit than try to inject that into them.
We'll do 2 more rapid, Jeff.
Pat, you mentioned after that first exhibition that was the most nervous you'd ever been as a head coach. You had trouble kind of getting into a pregame rhythm. How did this game compare to that in terms of nervousness, and were you able to get into a little bit more rhythm?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I was way more nervous for the exhibition games. I don't know if it's because maybe I'm in a routine a little bit or something, but prayed a lot this morning and asked for calm and for a clear mind, and God is great. So it was awesome. I had a ton of family in from Cincinnati today, my siblings, my parents, aunts and uncles, so many people here to celebrate a really cool day. The guys kind of doused me with water in the locker room. Josh presented me with the game ball. This is his first official win as the head coach at Louisville, and I'm very grateful for that. It was an awesome time. But again, man, I'm just a part of this. I have an elite staff. I have a fun team to coach. The support we get from our administration, Josh is the leader. We have great tools here. We have great resources, and we have great human resources, and I'm lucky to be a part of it.
Coach, I just wanted to ask you, like you said, you got Tennessee coming in this Saturday. You spoke about there were some seats that were still open here. Just if you can make a case to the Louisville fans for why they should come out for the whiteout against Tennessee on Saturday.
Man, I mean, people know. People in this town know. They know. I mean, Josh and Brian Cloman were the one that came to me and he go, Game 2, Tennessee. And I'm like, Tennessee, Game 2? They're like, yeah, it's going to be at the city. I'm telling you, PK, like, do the game. Let's play it. They're going to show up. Place is going to be packed. It's going to be rocking. So I'm like, all right. So Josh promised me the place was going to be rocking and almost packed. So you guys got to have Josh's back and get there, and let's have 20,000 at the Yum on Saturday. Play, like I said, a great team. Phenomenally well coached, Hall of Fame, All-American point guard. They're Noah's Ark. They got 2 of everything, and and we're going to need the whiteout. We're going to need the 6-man, and I know the Louisville fan base in the city of Louisville is going to step up. Let's make Saturday really, really special. Is that all right?
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Here.